presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the Oklahoma Sports Network's consent is prohibited. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be used without express written consent.
All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Middale Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network. My name is Jordan Ray. I'm wearing sunglasses right now, not because I'm cool, but because the sun is blaring right now in my eyes. I can't wait till they roll the clocks back here in a couple weeks, but I'll survive otherwise. Anyway, we're here at the Bricktown Brewery in Midwest City, and we're happy to be here as they have the great special known as half off for pizzas on Wednesday, every Wednesday. And, of course, there's other discounts you can get if you download the Bricktown Brewery app on your phone and start collecting points for your purchases, and you can then get discounts following that. So, and, of course, the NBA season's starting up. They'll have the World Series in a few days as well, and, of course, football. So a lot going on in the world of sports, and you can watch those games right here at the Bricktown Brewery, again, in Midwest City. And we also want to thank Tooney Buys Houses. Tooney Buys Houses. We buy and renovate homes. We also lease and own or finance homes throughout the state of Oklahoma. Phone number to call is 405-931-3046. As usual, we start things off talking Midwest City Bomber football. Let's go ahead and look at the standings. Tough loss to Lawton MacArthur in a close game last week. Midwest City is now in fourth place with a district record of 2-2. Ahead of them is Newcastle MacArthur. They're both playing to this coming Friday. Then McGinnis has a 2-1 record as they have played less games. Those three teams have already had a bye week. If Midwest City can finish in a head-to-head tie with McGinnis, they can catch them for a 3 seed, and that's still very possible. Okay, we're going to now talk with Midwest City's running backs coach, David Mustin. Coach, thank you very much for coming on for the very first time. We appreciate you a lot. And if you could talk about how you got to Midwest City.
Well, I've been coaching for about 9 years now. I started in the middle school over at Douglas High School. Won a championship over there with the middle school, and my coaching journey from there was at PCO, and then I've been led to here to work with Coach Hall. Okay, and what led you to coach running backs? Did you play that position when you were younger? Yes, I played a little running back when I was a little younger. Yes, I did. Okay, and where did you play at? I played at Star Spencer. I played running back and linebacker, and I played up at Lincoln University as well. Oh, very good. Well, when you were at Star Spencer, was that around the time Coach Hall was there? Yes, sir. Oh, so was he your head coach? Yes. Okay, so you have that relationship with him. You've known him maybe just as long as anybody on the staff, right. I'd imagine. And what have you enjoyed about the job? And also, of course, you teach at Midwest City as well. I love it, man. It's just football. Football is a part of life, and you always enjoy doing the things you love. So, and then being around the kids, helping them grow and seeing them grow outside of school, just enjoying the process, enjoying the love for the game. Now, as a running backs coach, what do you do individual drills with them in practice? And and how do you work with the offensive coordinator, Coach Lowe, and stuff like that? We have EDD, everyday drills. We work our mesh, we work our aiming points, things that's predicated to the game plan that week. Anything that's necessary as far as technique details. Okay, and how do you decide which running backs? Now you had it interesting the last couple of years because you had like 3 or 4 running backs, and there really wasn't one who was way ahead of the other, right. Unless you had like an injury or an eligibility or something like that. And this year, you've had one workhorse running back in Jaheim Mahmoud. How has that affected how you sub, or are you the guy that basically is responsible for rotating in running backs? Yes. It doesn't help rotation. Numbers are always good, but he's a senior year and he's ready to carry the bell. So he's doing a good job at that, and he's been staying consistent, trying to keep him healthy. But other than that, he's been doing good thanks to our O-line. They're been progressing every week and doing their job, and that's the main reason, the O-line. Let's talk a little bit more about Jaheim, though. What makes him special? Because
he takes a beating, but he mostly dishes out a beating. And you can see him as a physical runner. He also has the breakaway speed. You can see on some of his long touchdowns. And I believe he was recently offered by New Mexico. I don't know about any other offers, but he's now established himself as a Division I running back, and that's obviously a big honor. What makes him special?
He's resilient, runs hard, has good vision. Ultimately, just good kid all the way around. Good kid, man. Just you can't ask for a better kid. So
yeah.
And like I said, he runs hard, resilient, great teammate, does what you ask. You can't ask for any more.
And when he comes off the field, are you in his ear a lot, or do you mostly?
I gotta let him catch his breath, really.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you gotta let him catch his breath. I mean, he works. He's a hard working player on the field.
Right.
So, what's your role then during the game with the running backs? I mean, do you talk to them a lot? Do you just mention a couple things here and there? How would you describe that?
You always let players play and get their insight because you're not on the field with them. So see what they see, understanding what's going on, understand them, let them know about the moments that's coming up, down and distance. Just the ebbs and flows of the game. Just keeping them tight, keeping their heads right, keeping them positive, uplifted, even though it's maybe a bad series, keep them ready for the next series.
And you guys, Jaheim especially, it's amazing the beating he's taken, and I don't know if he's fumbled the ball yet. I don't remember him fumbling the ball. If he hasn't been much. So what is that something you work on a lot in practice? Is ball security?
That's our main goal, ball security. Can't do nothing without the ball. Always need the ball. That's the most important.
Okay, and we're about to talk to a player you brought with us here in a second, but what's also interesting is Jayshawn Grisby has moved to the running back position, and that's why he changed his number to number 6. What went into that decision? Was that something that you wanted? Was it something Coach Hall suggested, or how did that come about?
It's collaborative effort. It's just sitting, noticing him at practice, needing more bullets. He's added to our arsenal.
And also, we've seen a lot of, in the last couple of games, Josiah Johnson run the ball. Now he's technically, I guess, playing the quarterback position, kind of a wildcat quarterback. Are you coaching him more now that he's doing that he's taken on that role?
Not necessarily, but he's a part of the offense, and he's a valued asset right now, you know what I mean, for our team.
Yeah, so what's important then for your running game? I mean, because that's what you relied on a lot against Laud MacArthur, and it really got going in the second half. And, I mean, you know, it's what's interesting is it's not like you know what's coming. Mm-hmm. It's either going to be JoJo run the ball or he's going to hand it off to Jaheim. So, but when you do that, of course, you want to avoid any long down and distance too, right? So what's been the key to getting that to work? Because that's kind of brand new, right? This is what they call what I've been told was a 31 package.
Right. Our line being consistent, moving people out the way, making holes for us, staying physical and moving people. That's the main thing for our line. I'm proud of them. They're doing a heck of a job as far as helping Jaheim reach his goals, blocking for us.
Yeah.
I mean, just as far as, you know, we haven't won the ones we wanted to, but as far as the season goes, we progressed. We played hard. We showed no quit. So that was the main thing. Okay,
so in the game against Laud MacArthur, you guys were down 22-6 at halftime, and then you scored the next 3 possessions, I believe. The first 3 possessions you had the ball in the second half. I think that the tying touchdown drive also took a lot of clock,
right,
if I'm not mistaken, too. What was key to run the ball better in the second half from the first half?
Line on the O-line, staying positive, just making sure we're doing our assignments, executing. Execution was the whole thing, execution and staying poised. Staying poised through a rough time and just overcome the adversity. That's what we teach our kids every day.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when it's 22-6, people were thinking it could go either way. It could become a blowout, and you guys came back and were this close to having the lead there. Okay, let's go ahead and talk to this next this player you have with us. If you would introduce him.
Number 11, Christian Trudy. He's a transfer from Choctaw. He's playing DN and running back for us this year as well. Mm-hmm. He's been a great asset for our team. You know, he works hard, plays hard, shows up every day. You know, great kid.
And he's only a sophomore, which is nice. All right, Christian, thank you for coming on here. So it's pronounced Chudy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It starts with a T, by the way. So it's this T obviously is silent. So I don't want to get anything with Choctaw, but what made you decide to transfer over to Midwest City. I think Choctaw got one of our players too, so it's almost like there was a trade.
Yeah, I kind of just saw the culture over here, you know. I have a bunch of friends over here. I came over here in 8th grade after I moved here from New Jersey. I have a coach over here, yeah. And, you know, I just thought I can be a valuable asset to the team. I can help them get to where they want to be at. And, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, so you're from New Jersey. This opens up a whole new line of questions. How did you come from New Jersey to Oklahoma?
No, my family's in the military. We just move around a lot. So
okay.
It happened.
Okay. Do you think you'll be able to be here the next 2 years?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay, that'll be awesome. And you have a responsibility on both offense and defense. You've been playing the backup running back position and also a lot of defensive end.
Yes,
Is that right? And I think you had the game-winning sack against McGinnis.
Yes, sir, I did.
It had to be a thrill, right?
Yeah.
What can you say about that? That was the best game the defense has played. And then the biggest win because the team really needed it, and it keeps them in position for the 3 seed. What was going well for you guys in that game?
It was just the energy, you know. Like we obviously the season had to go how we planned it to go. You know, we lost some games that we should have won, but no, we never quit. We got leaders on our defense. You know, Keywan, Brandon, AB. Just a bunch of leaders. So we keep the energy up, and that's how we won that game. We came in, we locked in, we focused, and we came out there. We just played hard. All you can do. Yeah,
and Coach, that was the game where you guys brought in the 31 package. You brought in Jashawn Grisby as your, another running back, and I didn't know if you had how much more running you could do against them because they kind of saw it coming.
I mean, when your O-line is being dominant, there's nothing you can do. So you always take your credit to the O-line.
Well, and then that game-winning touchdown by Jaheim, just right up the middle, is like it's like they thought something else was going to come or something. Christian, have you tried to tackle Jaheim in practice?
No, a couple times. I got him once.
You did get him once? How hard is it on a scale of 1 to 10?
It's pretty difficult. I'll say probably like 8, 9 out of 10. It's pretty hard to do.
And what can you learn from him? Because he's a senior, so he's been around for a bit. And he's got some Division I offers, so you have to admire the path he's on at the moment. What are some things you've learned from him and maybe some of the other seniors?
Well, no, Jaheim, I just learned how to stay patient in the backfield, kind of hit the holes right.
Yeah.
I'm really blessed to have a bunch of amazing leaders in front of me, amazing seniors. Jaheim obviously being one of them. Learned a lot of linebacker from K1 to AB. On the D line, I have Grigsby, DeMonte. So, I'm just really blessed to have a bunch of good leaders in front of me, and they help me improve every day.
And one more question about the being a sophomore. There's not a lot of juniors and sophomores on the defensive front right now. So, are you thinking like you're going to be, even though you're not going to be a senior yet, are you going to be one of the leaders of the team next year?
That's what I plan to be. I want to take a step up next year and help lead my guys to where they want to go too. Because not only about me, it's about the team.
Now, could you see yourself playing a lot on both sides of the ball? Because running back will tire you out some, obviously. Do you see yourself playing a lot of snaps next year potentially?
I'll do whatever I got to do to help this team win games. If they need me to play 30 carries a game on offense, every snap on defense, I'll do it. I'll do whatever it takes to win.
And, Coach, have you ever had to maybe, if not here, somewhere else, for example, last year with Darian Rogers, although you had a lot of running backs rotated in, but do you have to advocate for to have them certain ones on offense because they're also playing defense and as far as and taking rest into consideration and stuff like that?
Snap count dictates a lot, but our guys are workhorses. So whatever the numbers call, whether it's coming on offense, whether it's defense, they will step up to the challenge.
All right, Christian, do you have a favorite NFL team?
Cowboys, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, you're from New Jersey. I expect so close to your Giants or Jets, although they're worse, I guess.
Horrible. Yeah. Never that.
You have a favorite player?
Yeah, favorite all-time player is Ezekiel Elliott. I've been watching him since I was younger, since Ohio State.
I remember him at Ohio State, yeah. Coach, what about you growing up? Did you have a favorite team?
The Giants, actually.
Oh, wow. Were you watching them when they had R.W. McQuarters? I forgot what high school he went to in Oklahoma City.
He went to Booker T.
Never mind. In the state of Oklahoma.
Right.
That's right, Booker T. Mm-hmm. But they won the Super Bowl.
Yes.
So I don't know if you were.
I
remember that very well.
I was sitting watching.
Yeah, that's right. That was unbelievable. And then they did it again 4 years later. Do you have a favorite player?
You know, Terrell Owens, Deion Sanders, you know, Lawrence Taylor, Junior Seau.
Lawrence Taylor.
Zach Thomas.
Mm-hmm. Well, that makes me want to ask, what year did you graduate high school?
2006.
Okay, so, I mean, Lawrence Taylor you were pretty young then when he last played, but I remember I've kept up to date with him, not up to date, but I've watched a lot of his highlights on YouTube. They're amazing. So, anyway, all right, so you have senior night coming up against Classen SAS, I believe. Yeah, last home game. Then you have a bye week, which is kind of strange to have in week 9. But what are some things you're emphasizing? I mean, obviously on paper, Classen SAS doesn't seem to be at the level of the last 3 teams you played in district. But still, it's an important game because now you kind of need to win out to get in the playoffs. Right. So what are some things you're emphasizing ahead of that game, and what are your thoughts of that game?
You don't overlook any opponent. Everybody's equal right now. Like you said, we're 2 games away from having our playoff destiny, seeing where we're going in the first round. So take care of the things that's in front of us. Be where our feet is at right now.
All right. Christian, what about you? What do you think of the game this Friday?
I mean, he said what really needs to be said. Just don't overlook nobody, because we made that mistake a couple times, and it obviously didn't result in the way we wanted it to go. So just keep working hard and don't play down to their level. We know what team we are, and we know we can put that in and week out, and we can be one of the best teams in the state, in my opinion.
For sure. All right. So how would you describe your conditioning, by the way? You've mostly been playing defense lately, but when you've had to play on both sides of the ball, do you get tired quickly, or have you been able to manage?
I get tired at times, but since Jaheim's been in, he's been doing his thing. I've been predominantly defense.
Right.
But when I do had to go both sides, I get a little tired, but I can manage it.
You expect him to get some handoffs this week?
For sure.
All right. Look forward to seeing that. Last question for you, Christian. Do you play any other sports?
I used to play lacrosse, but they don't really have it out here
no.
Yeah.
Maybe you could play it as a club sport somewhere. I hope you can find that.
Yeah.
Look, I would love to see that, the lacrosse, because that's definitely not it's more of an East Coast sport for sure.
Yeah.
But I'd love to see you try it. All right, well, Coach, thank you very much. Christian, glad to talk to you. I've heard good things about you. Glad you're able to come here from Choctaw, and I know you're helping the team a lot this year. You'll help the team a lot next year for sure and beyond.
Yes,
all right, so it is senior night for Midwest City against Classen SAS, and that's important because it's a big senior class, and we intend to start the broadcast of this game at 6 o'clock, not 6:30, so we can get all the seniors recognized, the football players and the managers, because they're a big part of the team, during the broadcast. So we plan to have that start at 6 o'clock, our broadcast, and then the game, of course, will kick off a little after 7. Midwest City and Classen SAS on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Obviously an important game for Midwest City coming off a loss. They need to win to get back above 500 district play and then hopefully put themselves in position to clinch a playoff spot a couple weeks later. So that's something to look forward to. Tom Carpenter and myself will have the call. And coming up, we'll talk Del City football right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
I am here to contest the new Whata Wings from Whataburger.
What?
Real wings have bones. And these boneless wings are actually premium chicken tender bites tossed in one of Whataburger's famous sauces. Honey butter, honey barbecue, buffalo, or
Sweet and spicy.
and now Nashville hot? Those do not turn these Whata Wings into real wings. I know what a real wing is. That. It's not.
State Representative Max Wolfley.
As a longtime Mid-Del teacher, coach, and parent, I first ran for the legislature to ensure taxpayer dollars appropriated for education actually made it all the way to the classroom. That concern hasn't changed and seems even more important today. Thank you for giving me the privilege of serving the people of our district.
Max Wolfley, looking out for educators, seniors, veterans, and all of us. Recorded in our kitchen after midnight. Can you tell?
Experience the best wash in town at Tommy's Express. You'll love our open and bright tunnels, easy loading flat belt conveyor, unlimited membership, and free vacuums and mat washers. Experience the difference and visit Tommy's Express today.
If you've lived in Oklahoma long enough, you'll know that we get extreme weather. With that extreme weather comes hail damage to your roof and an insurance claim. When that happens, there's not a better company to deal with on your insurance claim than Cantrell Roofing and Construction. Since 1987, Cantrell Roofing and Construction has proven to be the best in the business, and always remember, got hail? Call Cantrell. Call them at 405-642-8558.
Have you ever seen an insurance commercial and asked yourself, are they really telling me the truth? Well, guess what? They're not.
Somebody runs a red light, and you think all of a sudden their insurance company's going to be all neighborly about it? Insurance companies aren't in the business of saving you money. They're in the business of keeping your money.
So remember, save our number in your phone so when tragedy strikes, call Rob and Will.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
Whataburger's new Bacon Blaze Jalapeno Double.
Sounds like a 5-alarm fire.
Not really, Frank. The jalapeno cream cheese, jalapeno ranch, and pickled jalapenos give it a pleasant heat.
So like a 4-alarm?
Nope. It's a delicious controlled blaze.
Like a little kitty stuck in a tree alarm.
Nah, hotter than that. Let's say the 2.5 alarm Bacon Blaze Jalapeno Double. I think the pole's broken.
New Whataburger Bacon Blaze Jalapeno Double. It's just a little hot.
I am here to contest the new Whata-Wings from Whataburger.
What?
Real wings have bones. And these boneless wings are actually premium chicken tender bites tossed in one of Whataburger's famous sauces. Honey butter, honey barbecue, buffalo, or
sweet and spicy.
And now Nashville hot? Those do not turn these Whata-Wings into real wings. I know what a real wing is. That. It's not
Whataburger, Whata-Wings.
State Representative Max Wolfley.
As a longtime Mid-Dell teacher, coach, and parent, I first ran for the legislature to ensure taxpayer dollars appropriated for education actually made it all the way to the classroom. That concern hasn't changed and seems even more important today. Thank you for giving me the privilege of serving the people of our district.
Max Wolfley, looking out for educators, seniors, veterans, and all of us. Recorded in our kitchen after midnight. Can you tell?
Experience the best wash in town at Tommy's Express. You'll love our open and bright tunnels, easy loading flat belt conveyor, unlimited membership, and free vacuums and mat washers. Experience the difference and visit Tommy's Express today.
All right, welcome back once again to the Mid-Dell Coach Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network. And this show is at the Bricktown Brewery in Midwest City, and it's brought to you by Tooney Buys Houses. Tooney Buys Houses, we buy and renovate homes. We also lease and own or finance homes in any condition. Okay, we're going to talk Del City football. So Del City won convincingly again against Will Rogers at Will Rogers, 56-0. Let's go and look at the standings for the Eagles here. And again, they are in first place. The two teams that are 3-1 right behind them, Pryor and Claremore, are the last two opponents of Del City. We'll talk about their next opponent here in a few. And so the Eagles looking good, but they still got some more work ahead of them. And we get to be joined once again by their head coach, Robert Jones. All right, Coach, some interesting circumstances here. First off, there's some technical difficulties with Colton's microphone at the end of the game, so I couldn't quite gather what was going on with your quarterback situation, but you did have to start a freshman quarterback here, so similar to how you had to plug in some different guys like the week before. And can you talk more about what went into that?
Well, you know, we have a standard at Del City that you're not going to only take care of business on the field. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to take care of your business in the classroom, in the school building as well, and you know, Cash did make a smart decision, and it had to, you know, I had to do some disciplinary issues with him, so he knew he wasn't going to start the game, and that's how it's going to be, you know, with all starters. He wasn't the only starter that didn't get to play or start the game and didn't get the reps that they should have because of disciplinary reasons, and that's back-to-back weeks, and I've been telling the team all the last 3 weeks, you know, we've been winning games convincingly. It's no secret that the opponents haven't pushed us to the standard that we want to be pushed and what we're trying to accomplish this year. So you have to be able to stay focused. You have to be able to do the things that you need to do off the field to be able to be a successful team. And we haven't been doing that. So back-to-back weeks where we have to suspend starters for playing time, and hopefully that kind of gets the team's attention to let them know that it's bigger than football. It's not just about football. We want these young men to understand that character does matter. Outside of who you are and what your status is on the team, character comes first. So, unfortunately, Cass was in that situation. He bounced back. I think he learned his lesson, and, you know, he's going to start this week, and I'm looking forward to him having a big game this week.
Let's talk about Sincere Overton, then, his replacement, is only a freshman.
Yes.
So, obviously, he has to be doing some good things to even be in a second-string position as a freshman. Does he play a lot of JV?
Yeah, he starts on JV. He's been playing all year. He's been doing a good job. You know, in our last 30 JV games, we're 29-1. We lost a couple weeks ago. Our streak ended against Carl Albert, but we're 29-1 on JV, so we take a lot of pride in that. And he's had a great year. We're 6-5-1 on the season on JV, and he's doing a good job leading those guys. And he's getting the scout team reps against our number one defense every day. So he's going against one of the better defenses in the state whenever he goes against our one defense. So he's getting quality reps. I felt like he was ready, and obviously he showed that because he came out and had a good game. He had some things he can work on and correct, but he had a good enough game as a freshman to get us a 56-0 win. So that's a plus, and it shows that we have the depth to what if somebody goes down with injury or if somebody doesn't do the right actions that they need to, that we can still have the success that Del City's used to.
Now, of course, he showed he can run the ball.
Absolutely.
Really fast. Showed he can throw the ball. But with Cash being a sophomore, is it possible that Sincere could play other positions for you down the road?
Yeah, you know, he can play a wildcat type position, play receiver, or, you know, he could play DB as well. And football is all about competition. So I'm excited to have two young quarterbacks that are going to be able to push each other throughout their career, because that's what it's about. That's how it's going to be on the collegiate level as well. You can see it in our own state. You can look at OU and the quarterback battle they have going on and the one that they have going on at Oklahoma State. Competition is part of the game, so I'm just fortunate to have two quarterbacks that are young that can push each other throughout their career to be the best they could be.
One of your early touchdowns was a Caleb Blackwolf touchdown on offense. I mean, he's making plays for so many games now straight. Yeah. Is it hard to take him out at running back? You got to play him on defense too. Is it hard to take him out right now?
Well, honestly, it's hard to take him out for sure. But when you're taking him out and you're putting in Rickland Holmes, it makes it a lot easier. Yeah. So we just got some quality running backs right now. You got Rickland Holmes who comes in and spills. Then you got Jeremiah Mouse who's kind of forgotten because, you know, he has some disciplinary issues back weeks, unfortunately. So he's kind of a forgotten guy. But I think he'll get put back on the scene this week because he's important for what we do. You know, with Caleb and Rickland playing both ways, Jeremiah is somebody that has to come in and plug in and get those guys to breathe and let them be able to be fresh for defense. But, yeah, it's hard to take Caleb off, man. Everything that he was advertised coming over from El Reno to Del City, we heard the type of athlete he was in the place that he made last year, and he's everything that's advertised. And the thing I love about him, he's the most humblest kid you'll meet. He has a great attitude. He's a yes sir, no sir type kid. He fits the CDEP standard to the T. So I'm excited to see him continue to grow as a player, and not only as a player, as a man in this program.
Now, your first defensive possession, Will Rogers was moving the ball a little bit.
Yeah.
They got into your territory, and it got to 4th and short. You decided to call a timeout. Was the timeout just for the play itself, or were you needed to redirect your players in any way?
Well, I felt like we was kind of weak. You know, the last 3 weeks we said we cannot play down to people's standard. And I felt like we were playing down to their standard. I felt like we didn't come out like we needed to play. I feel like we were flat. I feel like we just didn't have the intensity. I told the kids that last week we are starting the tradition that we did previously the last 2 years. This is the time that we call it playoff time. So that was a playoff game to us. Regardless of who the opponent is, we have to play with a standard. We have to play with an excellence that shows that we want to go be a championship team. And we weren't playing like that. So I wanted to call a timeout to get everybody going, to get all the kids focused and let them know that, hey, we got to get rolling. And it worked, obviously, because we shut them out, but that was not the start that we're used to. And you can get spoiled at times and think that you can just stop everybody. But I just feel where we're at in our program and the success that we had and the players that we have, that kind of drive shouldn't happen. So I wanted to call a timeout to let them know and kind of wake them up a little bit like, hey, we got to wake up and go play some football and play to the standard of Code Red.
Yeah, and you got the stop on that after the timeout. And
yes, sir.
I don't think they ever really threatened after that. So
absolutely.
Who are the players you got with us today?
Starting with Cam Freeman. Cam Freeman's been with us for 2 years. He's a defensive tackle and an offensive lineman. Great player. One of the strongest kids in the program. Great attitude. He didn't get to play last year because he transferred over, so he had to sit out a year. And we finally got him going. He would have been somebody that would have been a big contributor last year, but he was patient and he waited his turn, and he's taking advantage of it. He's been starting at D tackle for us. He gives us that opportunity to let Chauncey Jones and Quaylen Goodman focus a lot on the offensive line, and then he can also come in and spell those guys on the offensive line as well. So Cameron's having a great year. He's everything that we wanted him to be as he's been in our program for 2 years. I'm excited to see him continue to grow as we get into bigger games so he can show everybody the capability that he has. Then we got Josiah Chester. He plays defensive back and receiver. His year has been excellent for the athletes that surround him. He's making plays every week. You always see him make a couple plays that kind of get us in position offensively to spread everybody out so they can't just be focused on Kadarius Palmer and Marshawn Graham. And when you start to do that, Josiah Chester steps up and make a play. I think as we continue to go forward in his career, I think he's going to be a top 5 player in the state. He has great size. He's 6'2", he's 175. He has another work ethic that's similar to Caleb Blackwolf. He's just a yes sir, no sir guy. He busts his tail every day. And I'm excited to see him and Caleb and Cash all grow together because they're all sophomores. So it's an exciting time at Del City when you got sophomores, the capability of Josiah Chester. So I'm excited to see him continue to grow and see what he's going to do as we move forward in his career.
Those are some big-time sophomores there. All right,
yes,
Josiah, let's talk to you. I know you've definitely had some highlights this year, and I think you had a touchdown catch last week. Was that right?
No, sir.
Did you have a long catch from from your quarterback, Sincere?
Yes,
how would you describe that play? What was going on there?
We just called out fade, and I knew I had to one-on-one matchup, and I knew I had to beat the DB and make a catch.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and where do you have a particular spot you line up? Do you normally line up inside, outside? Is there a particular side of the field you do, or could it be all over the place for you?
It just depends on formation or if I'm motion or not, but most of the time I'm outside on the right.
Okay, and you see the success also, and Coach mentioned it, that Marshawn Graham is having, and also Katie Palmer.
Katie Palmer. Yes, sir, Katie.
And so when you see that, what does that does that motivate you to try to keep at their level? Do you ever have thoughts of, he's not going to throw me the ball much, or what goes through your mind when you see them play well?
It just pushes me to work harder, and I'd be happy for them when they make plays, and they be excited for me when I make plays. But it really just pushes me harder and helps me be a better player.
All right, and of course, there's so much team speed here. In practice, we talk about how tough practice is for Del City. Was that ever intimidating as a sophomore and just kind of feeling things out, like when you have to line up against DeMarion Turner or someone like that? Was that ever intimidating for you?
Not really. I was more excited than anything. I mean, I know he's a top corner in the state, so it just helps me improve and pushes me every day in practice.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, top cornerback who I think made a one-handed interception for a 98-yard touchdown. Is that the right number there?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That was something.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's talk to Cameron. All right, Cameron, so what school did you come from?
Came from Southeast.
Okay, Southeast. So you were teammates with the Fields then?
Yeah.
Okay. And what made you want to come to Del City?
Man, I just want to get pushed to be a better player. I heard it was a good program. I just want to be better for myself and have an opportunity.
So last year, in a way, you kind of redshirt, sounds like.
Yeah.
Were you able to play JV games?
Yeah.
Okay, and what was that like playing in those games, knowing I know it had to be kind of frustrating that you couldn't help the team out in the varsity level?
Yeah, at first, it was kind of frustrating, but like I knew next year I was gonna have to go show out, so I just pushed as hard as I can every game.
Now, Coach said you're one of the strongest guys on the team.
Yes,
Coach. I assume he means in the weight room?
Yeah.
Okay, so can you tell us about any of your lifts?
I'm squatting by like 515, benching like 315.
Yes, sir.
Probably numbers I'll never attain. What about, do you deadlift any?
Oh, yeah, like 550.
Okay, pretty good. Do you feel that in the game when you're lining up against, I don't know if you play nose any or play, okay. Do you feel like, do you see that strength coming and helping you a lot?
Yeah, I do.
And do you play much on offense?
Yeah, I play sometimes. I get rotated in.
Okay, so you mainly start on defense, you rotate in on offense.
Yeah.
Do you have a preferred position to play?
Yeah, I like D-tackle a little more. But when I come on offense, I do the best I can, too.
All right. And what's been the toughest game so far? I mean, Evan Memorial, obviously, they turned out to be pretty good team. So that was they beat both the other Edmond schools. That doesn't happen that often. But what was some of the tougher challenges you had this year?
Probably against Collinsville. They had a bigger old line.
Yeah.
They a little bit more sound than most of the other teams that we played.
Right. When you play against that, is it an important thing there, your conditioning? Because I would imagine when you play against a better offensive lineman, you got to spend a little bit more energy.
Yeah, because we're going to be out on bigger teams. You might be on the field a little more, so you got to be ready to go 100% every play.
For sure. Josiah, do you have a favorite highlight this year so far? Because I know you've had some other touchdowns, or you've had touchdowns in previous games, right?
Yes, sir.
Was there one that you really enjoyed that you wanted to watch the playback of?
Probably my first touchdown of this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I can say that's my favorite play this year.
Okay, and who was that against?
Midwest City.
I remember that because I was there, of course. But, yeah. All right, first touchdown. Okay, Coach, let's go ahead and talk about Tahlequah.
Yes, sir.
Because, I figure there's 5 teams battling for 4 playoff spots. You guys should get one of them.
Yeah.
And Tahlequah is one of the teams that's right there trying to get past Collinsville. And so they've had a couple of nice wins in district.
Yeah, they have.
What have you noticed about them?
You could tell that they're a team that has played in the 6A2 division.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell they're a team that's sound. Their formations offensively show you that they're coached up, and they're going to challenge us. They're going to push us on every level defensively. They're going to challenge our defensive linemen because they have solid offensive linemen that can fire off the ball, and their run schemes fit the personnel that they have. And then they have a quarterback that's going to challenge us in the run game. So our linebackers and DBs are going to have to be sure tacklers. Then they have receivers. They have receivers that are going to challenge us in the passing game, so our defensive backs will have to show up. So they're very sound offensively. We're going to have to show up and play. It's going to be a little different style of play that we've seen in the last 3 weeks. Then defensively, offensively for us, their defense is going to challenge us as well, just because the competition that we have played the last 3 weeks haven't been up to the standard that what they bring to the table. So just from a physicality standpoint, it's going to be a wake-up call for our kids. Our kids are human, and so are our coaches, so the competition level hasn't been very competitive the last 3 weeks, so now it's going to turn up a notch. It's going to be a playoff-type atmosphere. Tahlequah is trying to put themselves in position to win this district, and this game gives them that opportunity. So that's kind of where we're at with it. We know that we're first place in district right now, but that could change with one bad night. So we're not going into this very cocky and conceited. We understand what's at stake. We're putting our head down and we're working. We're coming into this game with a humble spirit, but we're also coming with a physical spirit that we need to go set the tone. And it's at Robert Kasu Stadium. So we want to go set the tone that, hey, you're going to come here, you're going to have a physical football game, and we're going to play it the right way, and we're going to see how it turns out for us.
Cameron, I'm sure you've watched video of the Tahlequah offensive line. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, they're pretty sound. They're pretty brought together, you know. So on defense, we're going to have to come with it. We're going to have to be sound. We got to be ready to play. We're playing against some lower quality opponents, but this week we're going to have to be ready. We got to come with it on both sides of the ball.
For sure. It'll get tougher after that, too. Josiah, sorry, what do you think? You watched their secondary, their D-backs.
Yes,
what do you think?
I think their fundamentals are very good. They will be physical off the line if I come off the line soft, so I got to come off the line hard every play, run or pass, and just not let them know what we're doing offensively.
Yes, sir.
All right, Coach, one thing I forgot to ask you about, special teams, because I've asked you about the offense 2 weeks ago, defense last week. And special teams-wise, you mostly will kick off because you score. You'll be in punt block, and then you'll kick some extra points, a lot of extra points.
Yeah, we haven't punted the ball in 5 weeks, unfortunately.
We'll see how ready Ricklin is at that.
Yeah, I hope so.
But you had a onside or deep onside recovery.
Yeah.
Was that intentional?
Well, we work pooch kicks all the time, and with the speed we have, if you bobble it or you mishandle the catch, we're going to have opportunity to get it. But that is something that we worked last week, and you know how that is when you work something like that. You always get it in practice, but when you get it in the game, it excites everyone because you've been working it all week. So anytime we do a pooch kick, we're treating that as like an onside kick because with the speed we have, we put that pressure on people. And sometimes people mishandle the kicks. I don't know why they just don't fair catch it, but you always got that kid in the heat of the moment that's not going to fair catch it, and he's going to bobble it. And sometimes it takes a good hop. And, you know, Tony's done a good job working every day. You know, when we're practicing, he's over there working those kicks, and you can show that he's improved as the season progresses. And that's going to be a big thing for us as we get into these games like Tahlequah and as we progress forward in district play.
All right. Last question for you, Cameron. Who's the toughest guy to go up against in practice?
I gotta say, Quaylen Goodwin and Chauncey Jones. They put up a good fight. You know, they won't get you all. Most times, they won't get you all you got. They don't get all they got.
Quaylen, the homecoming king.
Yep.
So I'm sure he'll wear his crown well for
sir.
you. All right, Josiah, what about you? Who's the toughest guy to go up against in practice?
Either Demarius Turner or Nick Holmes. You know, they're both athletic corners who's gonna push me every day, and I just gotta keep going.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, that's what we like. I like to ask those questions because of how hard you guys work in practice for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. And once again, Del City Football and the Oklahoma Sports Network. It'll be back at Robert Kalsu Stadium, so a home game, but be sure to tune in anyway. Even if you go to the game, watch playback, watch it on your phone. 6:30 will be the kickoff, or the coverage, countdown to kickoff with John Kilty and Colton Fleetwood, and then the kickoff will actually be at 7. So a big game for Del City because Tahlequah is one of the teams that's really competitive and competing for a playoff spot in 5A District 4. Okay, coming up, we're going to talk Carl Albert football right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Whataburger's new Bacon Blaze Jalapeno Double.
Sounds like a 5-alarm fire.
Not really, Frank. The jalapeno cream cheese, jalapeno ranch, and pickled jalapenos give it a pleasant heat.
So like a 4-alarm?
Nope. It's a delicious controlled blaze.
Like a little kitty stuck in a tree alarm.
Nah, hotter than that.
Let's say the 2.5 alarm Bacon Blaze Jalapeno Double. I think the pole's broken.
New Whataburger Bacon Blaze Jalapeno Double. It's just a little hot.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
All right, and welcome back to the Mid-Dell Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Just getting my notes together. And we're once again happy to be here at the Bricktown Brewery in Midwest City. And also this show is brought to you by Toonie Buys Houses. And now I get to talk to Carl Albert tight ends coach Boone Copeland. So, Coach, great to have you on again. We know we talked about golf a few months ago.
Yeah, we did.
So, and I believe, is Boone the name you normally go by?
Yes. That's actually my real name.
Okay. Oh, by the way, guys, move your mic a little closer there. So, Coach, how did you get to we talked about this before, but I know you were in Lawton for a while.
Right.
And how did you come to be a football coach at Carl Albert?
Well, first of all, I've coached for quite a few years. So my affiliation with previous head coach Mike Corley and Clarence Madden, our offensive line coach, I coached with Clarence at Lawton High several years ago. And whenever he moved up here to work under Coach Corley, whenever Coach Corley became the head coach, I followed them a couple of years after that to Carl Albert.
All right, very good. And as the tight ends coach, what's practice look like for you? Because, sometimes there's no tight ends on the field on offense. Sometimes you may have two or three.
Right.
And they have to be skilled in different areas of the game. What are some things you go through with your tight ends?
Well, first of all, tight end, has to do a lot of things. They're offensive linemen, and
right.
and sometimes they're involved in the passing game too. So our day pretty much starts just like an offensive lineman's days. Starts. We start with basic blocking stuff, and then after we get through with that, then we get over there and run pass routes and some 7-on-7. But we are wide receivers that are in tackle bodies.
Right. That's a good way of putting it. So, and during a game, are you talking to them every time they come off the field, or?
Well, usually after the game, we have a tent set up on the sideline where we everybody that comes off the offensive after a series, we get under that tent and we're able to watch the last series on TV. The problem that we have with that is Marcus and Maddox play a lot on defense too, so I have to catch them in between series or when we're going on offense. One of them will be out there, and I have to talk to the other one before he goes out there. So.
Yep, for sure. And a lot of times, depending on the situation, they'll go with this heavy package, and both tight ends are in. And do you have a hand in coaching that formation because it's so you're using so many skilled guys in blocking positions?
Well, we do have a lot of sets with we run two tight end sets a lot. We run a tight end wing set a lot. And so we try to get we kind of have a power side and a speed side. So we have that's kind of one of our games. Is that we like to run the football, and these guys do a great job of blocking out there on the edge, and we feel like that for us that's going to be where we're going to run the ball.
All right. Well, you mentioned the names. Let's go ahead and meet them. Right now we have Maddox. Is it Wilkerson?
Maddox Wilkerson over here on the far right, and Marcus James right here in the middle.
Okay, Maddox. I watched the first half against John Marshall. I think you had 2 big catches, and how long was your touchdown catch?
From when I looked at it, I think it was at like 50 yards.
I thought it was longer than that. Coach, that'd be exciting, by the way, watching that play.
Here's the deal. Anytime we get the ball thrown to us, we better catch it because we don't get that many opportunities. So, and whenever they screw up in practice and run the wrong route or something, I said, hey, you're going to get 1 or 2 shots. You better catch it. You better be in the right place. But they were both in the right place last Friday.
Maddox, I know, again, when you line up as a tight end and your job's to block, it's easy for the quarterbacks to forget about you. Did you ever have to lobby for Devin and not do that? And because he definitely found you last week.
Yeah, I talked to him after the play and say, hey, I'm open. And I try to wave my hands, but they just don't see me. They just try to get to Tristan and Trinae and them.
But have you back to you had a pass, a reception, I'm sorry, to set up I think your first touchdown, and then you scored second touchdown, and you scored on a long touchdown. Have you ever run like that? Have you ever run that much in a game?
I have not. The
No.
only time I'll be running down is following an LT after he scores, and that's
Right.
it.
Well, Coach, did that surprise you how fast he was running?
No. Maddox, Maddox surprises a lot of people. He's a big guy.
Mhm.
He moves pretty good. He moves pretty fast when he wants to. And when he gets out and open, he takes off, and it's pretty hard to bring down. These guys are both. This is my second year with both of them, and they're just a joy to coach.
I can imagine. Well, Marcus, good to talk to you again. And you had was a shoulder injury for the first part of the season?
It was like a stomach injury.
So okay, like an abdominal.
Yeah.
And how you feeling now?
I feel great.
Was last week was it your third game back?
Yep.
Okay. And how do you did you feel how you feel like on the field lately? Is your conditioning back and all that?
Yeah, I just feel like first game back because I really got cleared the week before, so I'd been running and conditioning and all that. So I feel just like right back to normal. Don't bother me or nothing.
All right, and I didn't see the whole game, but you had a short catch that you turned into a big gain. I think it was a play where you were lined up on the left side. All the receivers were on the right side, and you just motioned out to the sideline there. Take us through that play. Were you the lead receiver for that play?
Yeah, it's one of our screens, so I just it's a design play. We just went out and caught it, ran down the field.
And you came like this close to scoring.
Yeah, we don't really talk about him getting run down.
But that's okay because you're a tight end. Tight ends are supposed to get run down, right?
No.
You don't look at it that way.
No.
Talk about how much do you guys practice blocking compared to playing receiver?
All the time. That's pretty much all we practice.
Okay. And how would you rate yourself as far as blocking goes?
Out of what? Out of 10?
Out of 10.
I'll probably say like 8.5.
Okay. Max, what about you?
Yeah, same 8.5.
Coach, you agree with those grades?
Well, we grade that. I grade them every week, and
right.
This year they've really graded out exceptional. Like I say, they've been great guys to coach for the last 2 years. We've had a lot of fun together. And I gave Marcus a hard time about letting that guy run him down. That guy was a corner. They work extremely hard and have a great attitude, and we're looking for big things on down the road.
Okay, and Marcus, same question like that for Max. Do you have to lobby for some attention in the passing game because you guys have so many receivers that are good too?
Yes, for sure. Like me and Devin, I talk to him about it all the time. Start throwing me the ball. It's a struggle.
Okay, and and you had to feel heading into the year, you had to have a lot of confidence as a tight end because we're not at this game yet, but when you went to Guthrie last year, and you were like the player of the game, you had the 2 touchdowns, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that had to be, and then you announced your commitment to OU a few days later, but that had to be like just a special night for you when you could make the winning play on 4th down. Do you still think about that game a lot?
Every now and then. Especially with Guthrie coming back up on the schedule. Yeah, I think about it time to time.
Okay. Maddox, and you're a senior?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any college hopes, anything that might be looming for you?
There was a college that I visited in Colorado.
Okay.
CSU Pueblos. And it's one of my dad's friends. He's one of the head defensive coordinators, and that's a school that I would like to go to.
And your dad, is that Jimmy?
Yes.
Wilson? Okay. All right. That would be a great opportunity for you. And you play on defense as well. What position?
Defensive tackle.
And do you play mostly on defense? Do you rotate?
I rotate.
Okay. And how's your conditioning with that?
It's good. I got to go back and forth, and so you got to do a lot of conditioning for that, and I'm just ready to go whenever.
Yeah. And Marcus, I know you play. I thought I saw you in the middle on linebacker. Or do you play outside some or what? How's it work?
I play will linebacker, so it's like a mix.
Okay.
Inside and outside, but yeah.
And that's the position you're expecting to play at OU?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay. By the way, I haven't had to talk to you since when Tristan Haynes committed, so we can look back at last year's team and say they had 5 OU commits. Isn't that crazy?
Yes, sir.
Have you thought about who you're going to room with or how you're going to You're going to try to be close to Tristan or Trinae or something like that?
Nah, they're rooming together. I'm going to room with I have 3 Marcuses in my class that's going to OU, so
Okay.
I'm going now.
Okay, so you'll just be the Marcus room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right, Coach, I mean, because they play defense, what's the strategy with as far as rotating them in when you have your just one tight end sets and stuff like that?
Well, I try to keep them all fresh, and they get mad at me when I take them out, because they want to be in there all the time, and that's what you want. You want somebody in there that wants to be in there all the time. But after being with them for a couple of years, I can kind of tell when they're a little gassed, and I really told. And when Marcus came back, I said, hey, look, I'm going to have to, you're not going to be in game condition for a while, and I'm going to take you out and let you rest, and because I want you to, be at full speed. And so I just kind of look at them if a lot of times, of course, they're never going to tell me that they're tired, but I just kind of watch them and try to rotate them every 3 or 4 plays, keep them fresh, because we want them fresh at the end of the game.
Yeah, the times you don't rest or when you go with that heavy package, I already mentioned that. Do you guys get excited when you see that called? Because, I mean, obviously it's going to be a run play. Man, I always wondered if maybe at some point they'll run a pass play out of heavy. What do you think?
Nah, we can't divulge that. We can't let that out.
No,
there's no
chance
pass plays there.
Do you guys? What do you think when you hear a heavy package called?
Just got to bow up and go get some yards. Go get the first down or the touchdown or whatever the situation calls for.
But do you hope they run the ball to your side at least?
Yeah.
Max, okay. Do you guys play any special teams?
I'll play all of them.
All over, okay. All right, well, interesting opponent, Coach, because Lawton High, I don't know if you have ties with Lawton High?
Well, yeah, actually with Lawton High and Eisenhower, I coached at both places. I coached at Lawton High. Coach Madden and I coached there together. But that's, been several years ago. But, Lawton High is going to come in here with, a refreshed attitude. They dropped down to the class, and they're coming in here at 4-0, and we're 4-0. So it's going to be a big district game. They're coming in with a lot of confidence, and we have a lot of confidence, and we're hoping for a good game Friday night.
Yeah, guys, this is the meat of your scheduled district play. You played kind of the easier teams so far. Not that they aren't bad, but you guys, made it look easy against them. And Lawton High, again, like you said, they're 4-0 in district play, so, this could be a game for knocking a team out at first place, basically, because there's a 3-way tie. And you got the next team next week, Guthrie. What are your thoughts about Lawton High?
They're a well-coached team. They're a disciplined team. Like he said, they're on a roll. They got high confidence. We think it's going to be a decent game, and we just got to go out there and take care of business.
All right.
I know they got a lot of players that can play, and so do we, and I'm just ready for this game. It's going to be a battle.
All right, and Coach, when you scout Lawton High, you watch their linebackers. What is it you specifically look for when it comes to coaching tight ends?
Well, as an offensive staff, we're looking to see how they're going to line up to our particular formations. And one thing about this week is that they have not played a team that lines up in the tight end sets a lot, and so that's a little bit going to be a little bit different.
For sure. All right. Well, this is a big game for Carl Albert. District standings wise, you can see it. Both teams 4-0. So one of the teams will have their first district loss and could knock them down a peg. The winner will be either tied for first with Guthrie or in sole possession of first place heading into Guthrie. Actually, both teams have to go to Guthrie, but Carl Albert will have Guthrie next week, and that's the game we'll look forward to talking about at the appropriate time. But right now it's Lawton High playing at Carl Albert, and the game will be on the Oklahoma Sports Network, of course, with Kirk Norman and Coach Goff on the call, Mike Goff. And pregame 6:30, kickoff around 7. It's the Wolverines and the Titans. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. We love talking Carl Albert football.
Okay.
All right, we're going to talk Carl Albert volleyball in a minute. You're watching the Mid-Dale Coach Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Whataburger's new Bacon Blaze Jalapeno Double.
Sounds like a 5-alarm fire.
Not really, Frank. The jalapeno cream cheese, jalapeno ranch, and pickled jalapenos give it a pleasant heat.
So like a 4-alarm?
Nope. It's a delicious controlled blaze.
Like a little kitty stuck in a tree alarm.
Nah, hotter than that.
Let's say the 2.5 alarm Bacon Blaze Jalapeno Double. I think the pole's broken.
New Whataburger Bacon Blaze Jalapeno Double. It's just a little hot.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
Have you ever seen an insurance commercial and ask yourself, are they really telling me the truth? Well, guess what? They're not.
Somebody runs a red light and you think all of a sudden their insurance company's going to be all neighborly about it? Insurance companies aren't in the business of saving you money. They're in the business of keeping your money.
So remember, save our number in your phone so when tragedy strikes,
call Rob and Will.
All right, welcome back to the Mid-Dell Coaches Show at Bricktown Brewery in Midwest City. Also brought to you by Toonie Buys Houses. And guess what? Fall sports is kind of winding down. Football's still going on. But they're going to have the state tournament in volleyball, and Carl Albert Volleyball is in that state tournament, and they're going to be playing this weekend. So we look forward to talking about that right now with Coach Tabitha McCray. All right, Coach, you know, I know I already talked to you about how the season was going a few weeks ago. I think when I looked at your record, you were 5-6 at one point.
Right.
And then you got a lot of momentum going, and you needed that to maybe host the regional and finish, like you were saying, in the top 8. How would you describe the journey of this season then, with how you guys started and how you guys were able to improve and be in the position you're in now?
I think that they started off mild, and then they were able to pick it up and go full gas, and I think they've really led each other to push each other to where they are today to be able to host regionals and get to state.
And what was the journey like, especially how many times, I can't believe how many times you played Lawton MacArthur.
5.
5, okay, so
Yes.
I missed one. I wrote down August 16th, you lost to him 2-0 at Coweta.
Right.
August 24th, you played them, you hosted them and won 2-1. That's what it says anyway in the OSAA website, which I found interesting because the next time you played them, September 5th, you went to Lawton MacArthur, and that was a 5-game set instead of a best of 3. So I was a little curious about why that changed, but you won. You lost that one 3-2, and then you played them in a Noble tournament and won that one. Was it 2-1?
Yes.
That sound right? So you had to be unbelievably familiar with that team.
Yeah, we kind of knew him in and out, and also we had even, as much as we'd seen him, we even watched film on him again just to make sure we were fully prepared because we knew that they were a scrappy team and somebody who we were head-to-head with every time we played them. So we really had to just be on our game to be able to prepare for that regionals.
Yeah, so that, again, is the team that Carl Albert won against in the regionals about 10 days ago or so. So the thing is, you lost to him a couple times, you beat him a couple times, so you have to respect them.
Right.
And talk about this particular win against them that was for the regional championship because I think it was 3-1, and that fourth set was really close, right?
Yeah, it ended up we knew going into it wasn't going to be a walk in the park or an easy game. We knew they were going to be competition. We really couldn't give them any points.
Mm-hmm.
And so anytime we play them, we try to have like our A game on. And I feel like our girls ended really strong and just were more determined that losing wasn't an option.
Okay, and you brought 3 of your players with you, so who do we have?
Eden Schroeder, Chandler Cordray, and Caitlin Maybe.
Okay, ladies, welcome. Congratulations for being in state. And let's go ahead and talk to Eden first. So, Eden, you're a senior. Were you with the team, I think, the last time they made state, was it 3 years ago?
Yes.
Right before you got there?
Right. Yes.
Okay, so you were with the team then.
Mm-hmm.
And talk about how this team has kind of transitioned back to state the last few years, because I know there was a lean year there. How have you seen the team get back, basically, from where they were 3 years ago? I think they were state runner-up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what would you say about that?
So I feel like last year was like a really big change, not only culturally, but we lost most of our team, like our varsity team, and then getting a new coach. It was kind of just like finding the flow of like how we were going to end up winning and what we needed in this specific like arena of people, giving that it was so different since like everyone was new.
Right. And what position do you play?
I'm a middle blocker.
Okay. And have you been how long have you been a starter?
3 years.
3 years. So you're very comfortable there?
Mm-hmm.
Are you very vocal?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And then next, is it Chandler?
Yes.
Okay. Chandler, you're a junior?
Yes, sir.
So is this what position do you play?
Primarily setter.
Center. Okay. And what does that job entail?
It's kind of, you're the playmaker of the team. You tell your hitters where to go. You tell where your hitters where to go. You're the playmaker. You have to strategize to figure out, set up your hitters so they can succeed and get points.
And how many years have you been starting?
3. So my freshman year, I played on varsity.
Okay. And what would you describe the journey like here as far as the growth you've seen, first in yourself, but then in your team?
I feel like I've definitely just had the room to grow as a leader, creating relationships with my teammates and my coaches, so knowing that they believe in me, that they have my back, but also like myself having my teammates' back. And then also for our team, like Eden said, like we lost a lot of our varsity team. We lost a lot of our power players. And so whenever Coach McCray came, like it was just a lot of figuring things out, because we didn't have that one leader who was going to lead us. Like, so it was just figuring things out. And then this year, definitely, I think we've all kind of gotten used to each other and gotten to know each other and gotten to know how each other just works and the way that they like to be encouraged and uplifted and all of these things. And it's really just gelled together.
Okay, I'm going to ask Coach McCray a couple questions. If you could pass the headset to Caitlin here in a bit. Coach, so I asked if it was your third year. It was the third or second? You're as head coach at Carlisle.
This is my second year here.
Second year. Okay, that's what I thought. I missed that one. So, was there any time where during last season or whenever, where I guess my question would be, how have you changed as a coach, if any, from last year to this year?
Yeah, I think I've had to push myself more and think more out of the box, because there are a lot of high-level players on this team. And so I think going into it, I kind of went in as I had done with like Club or Midwest City, and that's not the team who they were. So really redirecting my coaches and hiring new coaches and just putting more like pressure on them to help me succeed at a higher level as well.
What was that feeling like when you saw that all that change you talked about and everything else you bring paid off by winning and getting to state? Because, I mean, I don't know, did you feel like your team was ahead of schedule by making it to state, or was it a relief, or how would you describe the feeling?
I think so many emotions, really, just to see like the joy, especially on the seniors' faces, like almost like a relief, like we were able to do it for their last season for some of them. And so just like respecting the process and how much they've grown, just all the feelings of like excitement. And now it's like you're on a new stage. So we're on a new level where we have to yet upgrade again and level up. And I think that's more exciting as a coach, just to be able to like push them further now.
And Eden, what was that feeling like? Because Lawton they came this close to forcing a fifth set, and who knows what could happen in the fifth set, so there had to be some drama there. What were your feelings like? Did you have any nerves?
Honestly, no. Just like, I kind of have like a feeling when we're going to win a game, when we're going to lose a game, if a game's going to be close. And like, I always knew that like it would be a hard game, but I had a feeling that we would end up winning. So if we went to a fifth set, I wasn't going to be surprised, but I would have been thoroughly surprised if we had lost that game.
Okay. And what was that celebration like?
It was almost like it was excitement because like I felt like me and my teammates, like we worked so hard. We went through like so much just to like get to this point and push ourselves to this point, and it was just kind of like a relief knowing that it finally like all paid off.
All right, let's bring in Caitlin. Caitlin, only a sophomore. How long have you been playing volleyball?
For about 8 years.
Okay, so you're not new to the sport, that's for sure. What position do you play out there?
Libero.
Libero. So that's the one that wears the different colored uniform.
Yeah.
And what are the responsibilities that go with that?
Just being a leader in the back row and just talking a lot. That's.
Yeah. And did you play much as a freshman?
I played a lot towards the end of the year on varsity, but at the beginning I started on JV.
Okay, so obviously, Coach, she really developed in this season.
Yeah, she's been awesome. Last year we saw her really step up coming in as a freshman, and so she was on JV, but then she handles pressure really well, and so she's able to control that back row, and so we've seen just amazing growth in her even this season.
Now, I almost had you on last week, and I didn't realize that there was a whole week off you guys basically had. I guess that's to give room for softball to have their state tournament, and then you guys will get yours this weekend.
Right.
Is that normal?
Yes.
It is normal. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm like, honestly, I haven't been in this situation,
Right,
so like
okay.
they're kind of teaching me right now.
Okay, so that is normal. One thing that's interesting that softball does is they'll schedule a game after they make it to state. Carlbert did that with Choctaw. I don't know if you guys how do you keep the team fresh, because that's kind of a long layoff, isn't it?
It is, and so I think some of the things we've kind of done is we've kept practices heavy and light. So we've added like dance parties in when I feel like the intense moments or I can see discouragement. We added that in yesterday. We've added in dress-up days. So we're trying new drills and really pinpointing stuff from me watching our own teams on film, just pinpointing areas that I know we need to focus on instead of going and like risking somebody maybe getting hurt in a scrimmage or something like that.
Okay, Caitlin, I'm going to ask you then if you have, when you're done, if you can hand the headset back to Chandler. What have practice been like for you? Because it sounds like there's been a lot of fun that coach has brought in as well, along with a lot of intensity, right?
Yeah. I feel like it's a nice balance. Like it's not too much pressure to where we're all like falling apart, but it's not like too much excitement to where we're getting distracted. It's like a good 50-50 back and forth kind of practice.
All right, and then Eden, you experienced this 3 years ago. What was was anything different about practices, because you got so many between the regionals and then your first state tournament game, like about 12 days or something like that? Anything different?
No, not really. Like, again, like we spent a lot of our time scrimmaging back then. But I also feel like the coach at the time, she did both, and now too, they did a good job of respecting the fact that like also for like some of us, this is our last week playing volleyball ever, like the seniors, and so like kind of keeping it like kind of like while still applying pressure, like it kind of gives us a relief that like we can still enjoy it while not putting like too much pressure on us.
Okay, will it be the last week for you, or do you have college hopes to play, or what?
Undecided. I will probably play club this season though.
Okay. Do you play any other sports?
Nope.
All right, so all volleyball for you then. Okay, and Chandler, what about you? I mean, it sounds unconventional to me, but I'm not as familiar with volleyball to have like what you said, dance party, and what was the other thing?
Themed days.
Themed days. What about you? What do you think about practice?
I think that like our theme days and just having music and little dance parties, they kind of just relieve the stress of what state can bring, because it is an intense tournament. Like you're going up against some of the best teams in your division, and like that can get a little nerve-wracking sometimes. So having those dress-up days and just remembering that volleyball is supposed to be fun and it's not all serious, and finding that balance between the intensity and ferocity that can come with gameplay, and also the joy and excitement that that comes with it as well. So it just levels it out and makes it equal.
Okay, let's show the Carl Albert half of the 5A state tournament bracket. This is at Moore High School, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to get that on here in a second. There it is. And as you can see, Carl Albert will play Booker T at Moore High School at 1 o'clock this coming Thursday. And they would play the winner of Duncan and Bishop McGuinness. That's earlier in the day. You're going to go scout that McGuinness game?
We are. We will be there.
Okay. But, of course, that won't matter as much if you can't beat Booker T. What do you think about Booker T? What makes them tough?
I think they're a great team from just things we've seen. They have a great libero. She's very scrappy. She doesn't really let anything drop. They have a number 5, I believe she is, an outside hitter. I think she's going D1 at this point. So we have a tough competition, but we've been really strategizing and game planning, and so I think we'll definitely, it's not going to be an easy game for either one of us.
For sure. All right. Chandler, I'll ask you first, and then you can pass that set back to Caitlin. What do you think about Booker T? Have you watched any film? Are you aware of anything about him, or are you just focusing on your game?
In all honesty, I'm focusing on my game and how to make my teammates better. We have watched a little bit of film, and so, like Coach said, that they're not going to just give up this game. Obviously, they're ranked number 2 in our rankings, and we're number 7. But I think that at this point, like, it's 0-0. It's anybody's game. So.
Okay. And Eden, what are you telling your teammates about? Have you talked to your teammates that aren't seniors about what it's like to experience state? Do you expect there to be a lot of nerves?
I think like most of our team like has played other sports, and in those other sports like they've also gone to state. When I was like a sophomore, like I don't remember a lot of it honestly, just because there were so many emotions, so much was happening. Like, but when I was a sophomore, we could have played harder when we lost in the state tournament, and so like I feel like continuing to push my team into like keeping it serious while also like having fun and like trying our best to like keep pushing even though like the competition's going to be hard. That's right. It was 2 years ago, not 3 years ago, when you guys were runners up. And okay, so yes, a lot of familiarity there for you. All right, Caitlin. Well, actually, any more thoughts, Eden, on Booker T? I think they're a really solid team, but like again, like we're a really solid team, and I feel like sometimes we kind of undermine ourselves just because like we get nervous. But at the end of the day, like Chandler said, it's anyone's game. Like it's a state tournament, anyone can win. All right, Caitlin, any thoughts on Booker T?
I mean, they're a great team. We're a great team, like they've said. It's a 50-50 game. Anybody could take it. It just depends on who shows up that day.
Do you think you'll have any nerves, or do you feel like you'll be very relaxed?
I think that I'll be relaxed. I think that us as a team will be a little bit nervous just because nerves are natural. They're going to happen. But I do feel like with all of our training and just all the support that we have for each other, I think that that'll really help not be as nervous.
All right, that's a great answer. I like that because I think nerves are only natural for this. But I think once you get the first set or whatever, you'll start to get real comfortable.
Yeah.
All right, well, Coach, you're hoping to have a good showing. I mean, it's an afternoon start, but
yeah.
I think will there be some fans there?
We're hoping so. I know, like the girls, their families are always super supportive and always have like a really fan base, even just by all their families alone. So I think even just that could bring a lot of cheer and crowd, and I'm hoping to bring in just some others who just kind of want to see the show. All
right. Well, please go watch the show if you have the time. It's a Thursday afternoon. First round of the state tournament for 5A volleyball at Moore High School. Carl Albert will take on Booker T. Booker T is ranked number 2 in 5A. Carl Albert 7. So it's going to hopefully be an epic matchup, and that's only the first one. If Carl Albert wins, they'll play Friday, then Saturday for a championship. So that's the hope for the Titans. Coach, ladies, thank you very much, and good luck this weekend.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and just remember all the games we have on the Oklahoma Sports Network for football this week. I want to thank Dedrick Jones for moving the camera around, and for Alicia Wooden for producing for us. And we look forward to being back next week. It's the Mid-Dale Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Thanks for watching this presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.